So this morning we're parked under Tryfan in Wales. We're going to do an absolutely classic mountaineering day today. We're going to do Tryfan via the North Ridge. So we're parked on the A5 just under Tryfan itself, which is just up there behind me. If you need refreshments or toilets, you can park at the Ogham Cottage, which is about half a mile up the road, or about 10 minutes walk from where we're parked here. We've got fantastic weather conditions, sunny stroke overcast, really dry weather, so we shouldn't have any problems scrambling on the North Ridge. What I would say with Tryfan is, if you've never done this route before, I would say wait for a really clear weather day so that there's no mist on the mountain and you're not really struggling to find your way around it. So there is lots and lots of free parking near the base of Tryfan. The problem is it fills up really quickly, especially on a weekend. You can see all the parking's mostly gone already, so you've got to get here really early or get here the night before. So the great thing about Tryfan is it starts immediately from the car park. So you don't get these ridiculous walks in like you do on some mountains. So we're parked just over there, and there's lots of parking here as well. And like I say, it's all free. The council have started putting all these cones up along here just to stop people double parking, because that's caused a lot of problems. You can see straight from the car park we're already heading up the mountain, so there's no peaks in between it, there's no long walks in. It means you can get right into the action within 5 or 10 minutes of getting onto the mountain. As you come up, you're going to see this stile here. Ignore that. A lot of people go over that and then end up lost on the wrong side of the mountain, so you need to ignore that and just come up here and carry on up these steps here. So you're climbing rock steps for about 15 to 20 minutes before you're into the real interesting bit of the mountain. It's quite a steep walking for the first sort of 20 minutes of the walk. There's another stile here as well. As you come up that stairway, you'll hit a stile lower down, and there's also one here as well. And again, what a lot of people do is they climb over that stile and they end up on the wrong side of the mountain, and that side's really difficult. It's, you know, it's a lot more technical ground. So if you're sticking to the North Ridge, you want to ignore that stile and you just want to follow this pathway up here. And you can see this big buttress here, so just ignore that. The pathway kind of continues and meanders around that. So we're about 150 meters up the side of Tryfan now. We've come to this, what looks like a lovely scramble here. So we're probably going to go up that. We're probably going to pick a route up there, maybe through those rocks there and over the top. And you can see the pathway comes up here and it kind of pieces out here as it hits those rocks. This mountain is a grade 1 scramble if you stick exactly to the North Ridge, but you can deviate off and you can get yourself into some pretty heavy territory, i.e. grade 2, grade 3 scrambles, even proper rock climbs. So if you're looking to just do a bit of a kind of light scramble and you don't want to do anything too complicated, there are lots of pathways running around most of the difficulties. So we've come up this pathway here, which, like I say, leads us to this scramble here. But you can see just below me there, you can probably see some people who are going around this. And there's some people here, I would guess they would also avoid this obstacle as well. That's the beauty of Tryfan. You can make it as difficult as you want, but you can also take the easiest route. But just bear in mind that the easiest route is still going to involve some scrambler at some point, so you can't escape all of it. If you've done any kind of low grade scrambles like Striding Edge, Swirl Edge, Crib Goch, etc., you'll have no difficulties whatsoever. Alex is going to go up the scramble first and I'm going to follow her up. Straightforward?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you like your scrambling, Tryfan is the mountain to be on. I don't think there's any mountain in the UK to match it in terms of the sheer amount of variety of scrambling on it. It's an absolutely brilliant mountain. It's probably one of my top 3 favourite mountains in the UK. So this is probably going to require both hands, so I'll put the camera away. See you on the top of this. That was fantastic, that. Nice little warm up. Brilliant. Shall we carry on?
Weather's gorgeous today.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? We've come off the main pathway that goes over the North Ridge. The reason we've come off the pathway is we're looking for slightly more interesting stuff to scramble on. We found this bit of a scramble here. We're just looking at it now, and it's probably a grade or two higher than grade 1. I think we can probably do that, but it looks probably like more grade 2, maybe going to grade 3. So if we want to head back down to the path, join the main pathway there, and we'll come back around, if that makes sense. I really want to show you guys the North Ridge, not some complicated route that I've just invented. So we're going to head back over that way towards the pathway. We're going to try and stick around the pathway, but not on it. Try and get in as much scrambling as we can. It is quite easy to get lost on Tryfan. The main thing to bear in mind, as long as you keep the lake behind you there within view as much as you can, then chances are you're probably still on the North Ridge. You'll see a lot of this as well, where people have obviously walked and walked and walked it. So there are multiple pathways coming off in multiple directions, but most of these pathways all end up on the North Ridge. Like I say, as long as you keep that lake pretty much in line, and you can see the car park sort of 75–80% of the time, you're probably on the right track. Looking good, yeah?
Yeah.
Really grippy rock, really dry, load of footholds, load of handholds. So basically you just got to take your time and just think about the moves that you're making. So I've climbed Tryfan at least 30 times, and I always end up coming at the North Ridge by a slightly different route. And today we've come across this little cave here. I've never seen this before, but it's fantastic. You could probably bivvy in here, you could probably sleep in here. It's probably room enough for 1, maybe 2 people at a push. Unfortunately, someone's left what looks like a sleeping bag or a bivvy, face mask, a load of burnt wood and stuff like that. It winds me up when you see this just rubbish just left. I mean, why can't people take it down to the cars with them? But well, what can you do? Go on. Yeah, nearly at the top. Yeah. Awesome. Is it my turn? I think I'll give that a miss. So this thing here is called the cannon. If you've come across the cannon, it basically means that you're still on the North Ridge, so you're on the right route basically. It's a fantastic place for a photograph, little video. You'll see loads of photos of people on Tryfan climbing the cannon. It's absolutely iconic. This slip it is.
Yeah.
Pure polished.
It's the drop down.
Is it that? Right. Thanks for that. How'd you get down?
Slowly. Remember, you used to just be able to like jog down that basically.
Thanks. We're heading up towards what's called the North Tower on the mountain, and you can pretty much see this area here. There is still a pathway, so if you have a look down to these rocks here, you can see there's quite a wide pathway still meandering up, and you can stick with that pathway pretty much until you reach the bottom of the North Tower, and then after that you're probably going to have to do some scrambling. So if you've stuck to the pathway and you've avoided scrambling so far, you've done pretty well. If you stick to the pathways, most of the mountain is just like this. It's just this really kind of rough terrain, so moving onto a little bit of rock, onto pathway, back onto rock, onto pathway, back onto rock. So it's straightforward, nice and grippy, especially in these conditions. We've reached the base of the North Tower now, This is where it gets a little bit more tricky. You'll probably need to do a little bit of hands-on work here. It looks a lot worse than it is, and in dry weather like this, it's not too bad. Absolutely excellent. If you like scrambling, this is probably the best mountain in the UK, just because it's got so much stuff on it and it's so easily accessible. As soon as you exit the North Tower, the pathway starts to come back, and from there it's straightforward. You can just follow the pathway to the summit. We're going to carry on scrambling a bit, so we found this nice little gully that we're going to give a try. Looks straightforward, probably grade 1 stroke 2, but we're going to go up that. If we have any difficulties, what we'll do is we'll retreat back down to where the pathway is and we'll just go around this, but this just kind of looks cool, so we're going to give it a go. Easy. Nice, isn't it, that?
Lovely, yeah.
Great, isn't it? Nice dry rock. Superb.
It's proper like flakes, aren't they? They're just
superb. Nice. Delightful, delightful. Delightful.
Did you come out that way or go?
I think I went over there and then over that rock and then back over the top. What a delightful mountain. Absolutely brilliant. I love this mountain. One of the best. One of the best, if not the best. I think our summit's just over there. What do you think? Should we jump them again?
Can't be bothered.
No, I know, I'm the same. So we're at the summit of Tryfan now. These two big rocks are called Adam and Eve. What you're supposed to do traditionally is you're supposed to climb onto Adam and jump across onto Eve and back again. Or it might be that way around, it might be the other way around, I'm not sure. So what you'll see is, you'll see people climbing up here and they'll jump that way and they'll jump back. So what happens is when you complete the jump, you gain what's called the Freedom of Tryfan. And then that supposedly gives you the protection of the mountain gods for the rest of your life. I did that jump years and years ago. I wouldn't do it again. I can show you some vintage photographic evidence of me completing the jump. Today's mountain food is Fry's Turkish Delight. Here's a little tip for you. These don't freeze in winter, so you can keep them in your pack all year round. So we're heading down from Tryfan now. The route down Tryfan is a lot easier than the route up. So what you do is you just head south basically towards this mountain here, which is called GLYDER. So if you head in that general direction, a little bit of easy scrambling over some rocks, and eventually you'll hit a pathway, and the pathway drops right down to this lake here, which is called LLYN BOCHLWYD, which is also known as Lake Australia. And from there your pathway goes straight back down to the car park. So going down the south side is a lot easier than coming up the north side, if that makes sense. This is the pathway here, but it's really broken up and it just keeps disappearing. So the best thing to do is just a little bit of scrambling, stay on this pathway as much as possible, head south, and then eventually the pathway gets wider and wider. Then you can drop down quite steeply. Cheers. Oh, that's nice. Always worth the hike. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like and a comment if you've got any questions or anything good to say. Take it easy. Cheers.